Hi guys, Olive here today to do my last review for Nonfiction November. Today I would like to review Birdmania, A Remarkable Passion for Birds by Bernd Brunner, translated by Jane Billinghurst. The English translation of this book was published in October of 2017 by Greystone Books, and the hardcover copy comes in at 292 pages. This review is going to be a little bit unique in that it's going to contain a vlog component. A few weeks ago, I was lucky enough to go to a lecture given by Bernd Brunner. This lecture was hosted by the wonderful people at Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures and by the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. The lecture itself was given in the Oakland neighborhood of Pittsburgh, home to the University of Pittsburgh. The people involved with organizing the event were kind enough to give me permission to be able to film the entire lecture, so I am very happy to be able to share parts of the lecture with you in this review. This book also contains tons of gorgeous illustrations, and I wanted to give you some close-up views of those, so this review will contain that as well. This book is all about the enthusiasm that people have for birds, or in some cases, the over-enthusiasm they have for birds. The author affectionately terms these people bird maniacs, and in this book, he tells their stories. These aren't necessarily people who have contributed to the field. They are simply people whose love for birds has made them stand out.
The idea for my research grew also from the observation or the impression that the few available books dealing with the history of ornithology focus usually on the advances of particular scientists, and not so much on the passion, or you may even say love sometimes, they have held for the objects of their study. So I thought it could be a good idea to offer a different perspective, even if the people featured have not always helped to advance knowledge about science.
Some of the names are well known, such as Aristotle, Thoreau, Audubon, Theodore Roosevelt, Leonardo da Vinci, even Jonathan Franzen. And while some of the other names are either no longer well known or started out obscure, their stories are remarkable. And the whole book brings to mind the saying, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
So is there a common denominator for people interested in birds? Some give up successful careers to devote themselves to their studies. Others dream so often about encountering the rare birds they desire to see that they end up believing that they have set eyes on them. Philosophers, musicians, and writers incorporated them into their work. Many who are seduced by birds wrestle for recognition. Others seek neither fame nor fortune, never put a pen on paper, and focus instead on cultivating intimate relationships with their beloved birds.
In this book, we hear about people who have just about every different type of relationship with birds. Observers, collectors, trainers, artists and photographers, keepers, breeders, conservationists, writers, and scholars. This book also examines the relationship between humans and birds. He discusses some popular bird species and why, in fact, they might be the most popular among humans. And he questions whether or not birds can be as attached to us as we are to them. There is also a section that discusses bird keeping as a trend. One man even had his own bird room, a walk-in aviary within his home that had 92 different species of birds.
The practice of keeping birds in captivity has been documented since the time of the Roman Empire. Nightingales and blue rock thrushes were popular as cage birds. It did not take long for parrots and guinea fowl to be brought back from expeditions to Africa. Magpies were kept in barber shops to entertain clients, and the bones of ravens found during the excavation of Roman towns indicate that they shared people's lives in some way.
A section of this book discusses the discovery of just how fast hummingbirds' wings beat when they were able to be captured on film at the end of the 19th century. The footage of the hummingbirds was then broken down into frames, revealing that their wings beat between 12 and 80 strokes per second, depending on the species. There's a particularly crazy story in here of a species counterfeiter, a man who glued together different parts of different specimens to create new species that did not in fact exist. He did this to gain credit in his field, but was, of course, eventually outed.
Of the 285 African species he described, 10 cannot be classified at all. 71 originated outside of the continent, 50 more are suspect, and 10 are even constructed from the feathers of different species. And this is somewhat surprising given that Le Vaillant himself had complained about profit-hungry traders who fabricated fraudulent specimens.
There's also a whole chapter on eggs and the study of eggs, egg identification and collection, the effect of DDT on eggshells, There's so much more to eggs than you may think. There's an additional chapter on feathers and one on birdsong, which contains a fascinating story about a nightingale who sang for the BBC.
In the 1920s, a British cellist named Beatrice Harrison developed the charming habit of going out into a large garden in Surrey in southeast England in the spring to practice playing music. As the nights began to feel warmer, she wrote, I had a sudden longing to go out into the woods surrounding the garden and play my cello and gaze on the beauty of it all as the moon peeped out through the trees. I sat on an old, surrounded an ivy-clad tree. I began to play very lazily all the melodies I love best and to improvise them. I began the chant Hindu by Rimsky-Korsakov, and after playing for some time I stopped. Suddenly a glorious note echoed the notes of the cello. I then trilled up and down this instrument, up to the top and down again. The voice of the bird followed me in thirds. I had never heard such bird songs before. To me it seemed a miracle. The sound did not appear to come from the high treetops, but from nearer the ground. I could not see, I just played on and on. After hearing the nightingale joining in and responding with thrills of its own, Harrison proposed performing this collaborative performance live on the radio. The BBC accepted her offer with alacrity. She played on May 19, 1924, a warm, clear moonlight night, sitting on a stone bench next to the bush where the bird was perched, to several million listeners. For a long time, the bird did not join in, and the radio program was coming to an end. Almost 2 hours had passed since then, when suddenly, after Harrison had begun Antonin Dvorak's songs my mother taught me, the nightingale sang, or at least reacted. The audience's response was overwhelming. The BBC had pulled off a coup, and news of the performance spread around the globe. Thanks to their great success, the concerts were repeated every spring for the next 12 years.
The illustrations in this book aren't pretty afterthoughts. They are well thought out and seamlessly interwoven into the text, to the point where you wouldn't want to experience this book without them. When discussing artists, you see examples of their artwork. There's even more subtle, yet still text-appropriate art underlaid beneath the text. Reading this book is a visual experience, but the art is never overdone. It is incredibly well balanced.
So you told us that you told us backstage that this has gone into a second printing, and today the Wall Street Journal had a great review. Are you surprised by the interest in this book?
Yes, I'm surprised. Because you can never know. You never know if the topic kind of hits the nerve or not.
This is a must-own book for bird lovers. It is just gorgeous. It's fun, informative, and enjoyable on a surface level for the visuals, but also on a deeper level for the well-researched stories about bird lovers who may be prone to excess. Bird maniacs, like myself. It just so happens that I have a second copy of this book that I got signed by Bernd Brunner when I was at the lecture. So I will be doing a giveaway for this book that is unfortunately going to have to be US only given how heavy this book is. You can enter starting today, November 30th, up until next Thursday, December 7th. On the evening of December 7th, I will be picking a winner at random and contacting you directly to get your mailing info to send you this book. In order to enter this giveaway, you must be over 13 years old or have your parents' permission to give me your mailing address, as I will need to mail you this book. You do not need to be subscribed to my channel. I don't really care about that. What I care most about is that this book goes to a loving home. To enter, please leave a comment on this video letting me know you would like to enter the giveaway and letting me know what your favorite bird is. If you have any other comments or questions for me, you can of course also leave that in the comment section below, or you can find me a variety of different places on social media, and the links to all of my profiles are linked in the description box below. I would like to extend a big thank you to Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures for allowing me to film the lecture, and thank you to all of you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.